What You Doing podcast. I'm the AC, and this is another podcast. But this time I have.
What up, world? My name's Carter Muncy. I'm the grant coordinator for the Council of Americana Roots Music, located right here in Overton County, Tennessee, middle of nowhere. We put on the Jammin at Hippie Jack's music festival, and I graduated high school with AC here.
Yeah,
and I'm happy to be here.
Yep. Yeah. This podcast is going to be probably a really big blast to the past. It's been years. And yeah, it's great to have a high school friend. But before we get into that, let me introduce myself and what this podcast is. Like I said, I'm the AC. Right now, I'm currently a master's student in Hawaii, studying ethnomusicology, focused on Filipino music. But when I'm not doing that, I want a little outlet to express myself and all the things I do. I do YouTube channels to do a little thing that is bite every now and then, which is, second Vine. And now I've been doing this podcast. And what this podcast is just a way for me to reconnect with old friends. And, because I suck at staying in touch with people, I think everyone does a little bit once they go out and start being adults. But I wanted to change that. I want to get back in touch with all these people. Hopefully stay in touch afterwards, which I have been a little bit so far, but it's also new. So once I talk to more people, we'll see where that goes. But another reason why this podcast in general is going to be great is because Carter is a little bit of the inspiration as to why I started this podcast. We'll get to it more later, but for the brief explanation of it, when we were in high school, I had a dream that I was an Eminem on pirate ship. He remembered that, and when he saw me post about another thing I do on my YouTube where I read my dreams from my dream pad, go and plug that, he messaged me and was like, hey, I remember this stuff. I was like, okay, cool. Don't know why, but it's good to get back in touch. And now we're getting even better in touch with this podcast. So, Carter, catch me up a little bit on what you've been doing. You already mentioned where you work. Tell us more about that.
Alright, well, out here in Tennessee, there is a music festival called Jammin at Hippie Jack's, and that was started by a man named Jack Stoddard, 13 years back. And, 5 years ago, he decided to start doing outreach for people as well. So, finding, people in Appalachia who work in or live in formal coal mining towns and stuff with, very little governmental resources, no jobs available, truly, people who need a lot of help. And we help them, with essentials, give them food, clothing, help them pay their bills, doctor notes, pharmacy, humanitarian type stuff for people in Appalachia. And the music, supports that. So back before COVID, we would have a yearly music festival, and that would be, our big fundraiser for the year. And then during the fall times, we would do a series of benefit concerts and team up with local other nonprofits in the area. We've done a few with, I can't remember it, but it's a shelter for domestic abuse victims in Cookeville. I can't remember. And, wow, I can't remember anything right now, and I've written it down so many times. And, there's a Veterans Affairs one too. I can look all this stuff up, but yeah, we team up with local nonprofits to help the community and stuff. And we put on live music to raise awareness and to raise donations.
Yeah.
And,
no, go ahead, if you was continuing.
But what I do, I don't know, it's essentially 4 people on staff, Jack, his wife, me, and my homie Micah. And it's just my official title is a grant coordinator, so I try to find and write grants to find money for our outreach and stuff. But I do a lot of other stuff from web design to graphic design, social media marketing. I handle live stream production. I don't know, anything that involves a computer and work I do. I'm also a secretary and I don't know. I do a lot of stuff.
No, cool. Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, has Hippie Jack, has he only really been doing it for 13 years? It seems like longer because, let's see, last time I saw you whenever we graduated was
2012.
Yeah, so 8 years ago. I feel I was only there for 3 years, so that's 11. Yeah, I guess he started a little bit before I got there. It was kind of big deal anytime he did it every year. And just, I don't know, I guess I assumed it's been there a lot longer. I never got to go, though. I think I was always busy around the time. And then you sent me the link to what they were doing yesterday. And I forgot. I was so pumped for it. I was like, oh yeah, this is cool because, you know, a lot of things are doing these online events now. And I was like, oh, this will be my chance to finally see what's going down. And I knew you was working on doing stuff with that. And I was ready for it. And then I just fell asleep in the middle of the day. Because that happens. It's hot. The heat just drains my energy in the middle of the day. But, yeah, was you involved
I saw your post first thing this morning.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, but did you, was that something you work on too, is the online stuff with that?
Yeah.
Are they, I don't know, are they going to do more?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
So now, in lieu of, you know, in-person events, due to obvious reasons, we're having a live stream event, or, well, you know, like a YouTube premiere every Thursday of the month. Okay. And then once a month, we're going to do like a longer format all-day stream where we'll like touch base from the farm, and we're going to try to find some live performers who are willing to come out and stuff, but that's for the future. But yeah. Jammin at hippiejacks.com every Thursday. Check it out. That's my plug.
Cool. Yeah, plug as much as you want. That's the other reason I'll do this. I forgot about you working with Hippie Jacks before I wanted you on here. And then I remembered, oh yeah, this is something else. Because I want to support the people who also come on here. Yeah. And let them, you know, plug what they want and share what they're doing.
Yeah.
And, I mean, catch up, too. But
yeah, I mean, catch up, but monetize it, baby. Like, this is 2020. This is capitalism. This is the digital age. We gotta, you know, it's cool to be personable and have good connections, but also, we need to get that paper.
Yep. Unfortunately, we do, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes I think it was like, what would it be like if we went back to like the barter system? Because money, the more I think about money, it's like, it makes no sense. Like, I get it, but I was like, barter system made a lot more sense. It's
like,
think of where,
if you know, a good and a service for goods and services, you know? Like, a money, like our money, it's like, oh, a government that we don't trust has to tell us, like, trust us, it's worth something. Don't worry about that. Like, I don't know, man. And
then when you think about, like, exchange rates going to other countries, because I go to the Philippines and it's exchanging money back and forth, I'm like, how do they decide how much one country's money is worth in another country's currency? And
it's really like classist when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, this country, they're not as good as us. There's different skin color. Like, their money is worthless. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's also, it's like, last time I was in the Philippines, the exchange rate was like $1 was like 50 Philippine pesos. Like, everyone thinks of the Philippines as poor, and I guess they kind of are, so stuff is really cheap. But it's also like, is stuff really cheap because they're poor, or is stuff in America just expensive because capitalism is?
Dude, for sure.
And it's like, one, it's really nice because I can get a lot. It is. So I guess there is a difference in like them being poor and America just being greedy. But it's also like, I guess I still take advantage of it when I'm over there. I'm like, okay.
Oh, of course.
And it's like, if I can get all this stuff a lot cheaper than I do, especially like wine. Oh man, the place I go, they have like just great wine. It's like, what, not even $5 a bottle.
Yeah,
what? Great.
But it's like, you know, you go to a lot of West Indian countries and you go there and their local rum, you know, the highest quality rum there is like cheaper than a 2 liter of Coca-Cola. And like, you know, there's a lot of different countries where things are disproportionately priced. Like, you know, some Middle Eastern countries, like a gallon of gas is cheaper than a gallon of water. Like,
yeah.
So,
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. But, man, yeah, so going back to like, you being the reason I started this podcast is, I don't remember exactly when you moved to Livingston or you came back. You used to live in the area, right, when you were younger. And
Yeah, from 2000 and like 2002 to 2003, I lived in Hillham, Tennessee, which is in Overton County. And so I went to Hillham Elementary for like just first and second grade. Wait, second and third grade. And then moved to Florida. Well, I mean, I say move, but I was shipped. Like my parents moved back to Florida.
Yeah, I mean that's how it is usually.
And then my mom got another divorce, and then we moved back to Tennessee because that's where her dad's whole family from. Like, I'm the fourth generation of person to live in Tennessee in my family. And so, well, yeah, we moved back there. What year was it? It was the winter of 2009, going into 2010. So that would be like second semester of sophomore year.
Oh yeah, okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah, I moved there that fall semester, the sophomore year. Okay. I wasn't sure if it was...
Damn, so it's been 10 years. Yeah, I've been living here consistently for 10 years.
Man. Well, I don't know how much you like Tennessee, but I was originally from Virginia, so moving there for my last 3 years of high school I wasn't completely stoked about it, but
No, dude.
did meet a lot of friends.
I mean, my hair was like close, a little bit shorter than this, and like I was big into sagging my pants back at the time because it was the early 2000s.
I mean, everyone was,
and
I
was called the F word, the gay slur, every day for 2.5 years, like just because I like dressed slightly differently and I didn't sound like I was from the deep south. Like,
yeah, I mean, even moving from Virginia, for me, everyone made fun of my accent. Apparently, I still never heard it. Not even from my family but like, apparently when I would make any word ending with O, like if I'll say no or whatever, go.
Yeah, I mean, you drop your vowels for sure.
Really? I don't know. I still don't hear it.
O. I like how it sounds. I think that's a pleasant accent to me.
I still hate my accent. Especially living out here in Hawaii, everyone loves it. Except for one of my teachers who made fun of me for still having an accent after living here for 2 years at that point, almost 3 now. I was like,
what are you supposed to sound like this, brother? Like, are you like, whoa, island vibes, man?
Maybe somewhere
is that what they want you to sound?
I mean, nobody really sounds like that here.
Whoa, look at these howlies, brother, on the beach, man. They're taking our fucking spot. Well, that was racist.
That's what people think, I guess, Hawaiians sound like. But yeah, nobody really talks like that much. If they are trying to speak Pidgin, they do kind of pick up that kind of accent. But no, I hate my country's southern accent here because everyone always points it out, and I'm like, fucking A, dude. Like, I just want to sound not like this. And I've met other people from Tennessee that have been here on vacation and stuff, and I can recognize their accent instantly also. Especially West Tennessee has a heavier accent. I can pick it out. I've also met other people literally from neighboring counties where I lived in Virginia, which is always weird. But yeah, I do remember. I don't know. It's hard for me to see people being picked on when I was in high school or like being made fun of because I was made fun of. But I was always took it as a joke because it always came from like what I considered my friend circle. So I do remember you not being the most liked person.
No, that's fair. Like, air it out. Like, that was 10 years ago. Like,
no, I mean, I thought you were great. I thought because we got along great, and our immediate friend group, I thought we all got along. But it's and we both had this, but it was cool because you had kind of argumentative, maybe not like arguing to be an ass, but just
yeah. I like to debate, especially, I don't know.
And I do too. But it was cool because you actually seemed to be better at it and more into it than me, which is great because I was argumentative just out of spite most of the time. And I think it was when meeting you and seeing how you were is when I was able to figure out how to do it for fun and like, you know, less of an ass and more of a
dude. I'm glad you said you did it out of spite, because like when in Florida, like I was part of the debate club and stuff, so I did do it legit for fun. And also, you know, because I believe if you want to gain a perspective on something, it's best to listen to someone from a different perspective than you.
Yeah.
So you can make a more worldly assumption, more worldly. But anyway, so when I came to Tennessee, it was like I had to start debating out of spite, because it was no longer like, oh yeah, we're all kind of on the same page, but just you're slightly different than I am belief structure wise. It was like, no, everyone was solar opposite of my belief structure. I was like, oh god, no, I gotta, this is for real now. So I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you showed up because I argue a lot, but it was also because I just like being dumb. But then, like, I didn't argue about anything too serious. It was always like stupid crap, and just for the sake of arguing, just to have something to argue about. But yeah, it was cool having you come. And man, I don't remember exactly all the classes we had, but we seemed to be together a lot in a lot of classes, and it's mainly because of the way our high school did all the classes. It was pretty much the same like group of people in all the honors classes doing all the same thing.
I mean, we graduated in a class of like what, less than 300? Like it's like 270 kids in our graduating class or something like that.
Yeah, I still don't know most of them. A lot of them knew me because I ran for like president and student council and all that stuff. I did a lot, but that's because I like showing off. But yeah, a lot of them didn't. A lot of them I
voted for you. I did. Well, I mean, it was like you and some preppy kid and then some jock, I think. And I was like, I didn't like those kids, and I knew you, so vote for AC, babe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going. Maybe my memory is a little foggy on it, so I doubt any of them from high school are actually listening to this. But I felt like my job in student council, I did a lot more than everyone else. Which our student council was a joke anyways, because we didn't really do anything. Mainly my responsibility was just do the announcements every now and then because nobody else would. But besides that, high school politics at our school was like just a joke. It was more like a title and just something to waste time on for a few weeks while you campaign for nothing. But no, one of our most memorable classes was definitely our junior year English class. And, I mean, you probably know where I'm getting with this, but
oh yes, set it up, baby.
That's where the pirate dream, Eminem on the pirate dream, came from. I still don't know how you remember that, but I had this dream when I was a
dude. I thought you made that up. I was like, I don't know. I've always been interested in psychology and like the study of dreams.
Yeah,
and like I've had a lot of hyper realistic dreams, but never that cartoony. And so when you're like saying this cartoony ass dream, I was like, that's like made up. He made this up. And then so that dude, it stuck with me for 10 years. That dream has stuck with me.
Yeah, that dream stuck with me my entire life. I had that when I was a little kid, maybe like kindergarten, first grade, which probably explains why I was cartoony. But yeah,
okay.
All I remember is I was Eminem on a pirate ship. I don't think I was a pirate. I think I just ended up on it. Then eventually they kick me off, they make me walk the plank, I fall in the water and I get eaten by a shark, and that's all I remember of the dream. But you remembered it. I have no idea why it got brought up in class. A lot of times I just say random shit that in my mind fits into the conversation, but I realize it doesn't always, and usually I'm met with silence or just weird stares. I'm like, it made sense to me. But yeah, I can't think about anything we did in that class that would have caused me to...
No, we were all from what I remember, we were all talking about dreams. Like either Miller had us like write down some dreams, or like I believe she like asked the class to like describe a dream we've had or something. And like you were the showstopper, man. No one could follow that at all.
Our whole table was great. Because
we should go and we were part of this infamous table in Miss Miller's junior English class, the sex table.
The sex table, because exactly probably what you're thinking, but not really.
Bunch of horny high school boys.
Okay, yeah, that part's probably true. Man,
But I don't think it was a self-given nickname. I think someone else gave us that nickname. I'm not entirely sure about
yeah,
that.
the only thing I remember, and I don't remember exactly, but it's because whatever conversation, I think you or one of us at the table would just yell
CJ.
out. Okay, that makes sense too.
It was because it was you, me, and CJ.
And Silas.
I think there was Tyler? Silas Maynard, yes. Who I'm still homies with. I actually ate dinner, I had some lunch with him last week.
Oh, did you? Yeah, him and CJ were the last people from high school I've actually talked to because I would run into them at random places. But that was also still 3 years ago. Besides that, you're the first person from high school I've talked to in a while. But yeah, I don't remember that conversation either. But we would always use answers related to sex or sex analogies.
Well, dude, because I remember for that class, the summer before, or the summer reading for it, Miller read How to Read English literature like a professor.
Yeah, I remember.
And one of the first chapters was it's always about sex, and if it's about sex, it's about power or something like that.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that.
Everything is about sex except for sex. Sex is about power, and I was in the first chapter, so I was well, carry that thread through, baby.
Oh no, I remember that book because there was the thing about the rocking horse. Do you remember that? And
dude, keep going.
And it was about a boy playing with his rocking horse, but then it was really about him just masturbating, I think. Oh, I didn't like that book, but that part stuck with me. Actually, no, I didn't like the book reading it then, but now that I think back on it, I did pull a lot of stuff from it, which is a lot of the reading I did in high school I didn't care about then. But I think about it now. One of the things, and I think about a lot lately, is people do a lot of nonfiction reading that more often these days, which is good, stay informed. But I feel when people read nonfiction, they just take it at face value. It's this is what we're telling you, this is what happened, and they're okay, and they accept it. But reading fiction, I'll come to realize, is what can really make you think. Because you don't accept it as real right away, but it can make you think about what if this was real? What if we took these fictional systems and tried to apply them to reality? And then I realized that's what our reading in high school was all about. Taking these fictional settings and it's okay, think about the symbolism, think about what's happening. I was dude, I was a shitty student back then, but now I get it.
Well, I mean, those are really big ideas. It's hard to cram 10 books in a kid in 1 year.
Yeah.
And then it's oh, here, get a worldview out of this. No, that's shit that's got to marinate for years and years before, and then you got to apply it. I mean, when you're a kid in a small ass town in nowhere rural area, you're not going to accumulate a lot of different life experiences.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you get the hell up out of there. So it's it takes a lot to develop a really nice worldview like that. So, everyone has their own time.
Yeah, especially knowing how small of a place that is. But yeah, then I'm right now I'm reading the prequel book to the Hunger Games, A Song of...
Okay.
Wait, what is it? I don't have it right here. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. There was a line in it. It's kind of been making me also think. I do a lot of reading.
I need to do more.
One of the characters is what young people lack in experience they make up for in idealism.
Yeah.
And I'm because you think about kids and, you see they're trying they talk a lot, and when you see them kind of get in political stuff, you're oh, these kids don't know what they're talking about because they don't have the experience. They don't know what reality is really like. But then it's yeah, they have this idealism. They can see what could be. They're not, I guess, not completely corrupted by the reality that is being an adult. And it's yeah, these ideas, they aren't reality right now, but it doesn't mean they couldn't be a realistic goal in the future. And I've been thinking about that when I read the line in that book. I was oh yeah. And then it also reminded me, oh yeah, this is fiction, and it's making me think. So, those of you listening, read more. Read more fiction. Keep yourself
read more books.
Yeah.
Read more books. I stand by that. No, but I had a sociology professor who said he read that children make the best mathematicians, but old people make the best psychologists and sociologists, because when you're on the cutting edge of something new, it's better to have that youthful idealism, like not be weighed down by the past and old knowledge, like when you're on the cutting edge of something like mathematics. But like when you're trying to study something like human behavior that repeats over generations, it's better to like just see it, more of it. So I don't know, it's like it's somewhere in the middle is better, I feel. Like I don't know if that made sense, but I feel like it applied to what you were talking about.
I'm getting where you're getting at. Yeah. Yeah, psychology in general is weird. I mean, psychology, sociology, all that stuff. Sometimes you see like these, I don't know, amateur psychologists who like they've taken like a psychology class before and they think they know everything, or they look up like, I don't know, how-tos of like how the human mind works and they think they know everything. Sometimes I think that,
or like they were just really into Tumblr.
Yeah,
oh no, like I really know what's going on because I've read a lot of r/.
But yeah, sometimes I have to check myself because sometimes I feel like I'm the same way. I'm like, oh yeah, I had a couple psychology classes in college. Also, I taught for a little bit, and then it's like I pretty much by now know at least how children think. I'm pretty much a psychology expert. And it's like, no, I'm not. It's like, yeah, I picked up on some tendencies just from teaching, and I know the psychological theories and whatever, but it's like, no, I'm just going to keep my opinions about other people to myself because I don't know them. Everyone's different. Psychology is a weird thing.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, yeah, I guess humans as a whole have a tendency and different nature, or certain natures that seem to always go through this flow. But it's also, everyone's so different and unique. It's like psychology is still almost a guessing game.
Oh, no, without a doubt.
You're trying to make sense out of. Especially
but like the main reason I took it was to figure out myself. Like I wasn't trying to figure out like, more universal truths. I was like, I was so depressed. And I was like, man, I just got to figure out what's wrong with me. So it was like a selfish pursuit. Like.
No.
Of mental health, like versus like a career game or something like that.
No, most of the stuff I do, I feel like it's just a selfish pursuit. So when it actually comes to treating yourself and getting better, that actually doesn't seem as selfish. A lot of times when I talk about why I do my YouTube and my podcast, I'm like, I do it for me because I like doing it, and I was like. Sometimes to me, it's like, oh yeah, that just sounds nice. It's just whatever. But then I'm also like, I don't care if people watch. I don't care if people like what I do since I do it. And then it's like, it's like kind of narcissistic. And like, I like what I do. I don't care if other people like what I do. I was like, no, it sounds kind of self-centered, but I don't know. I'm going to do what I like.
I mean, it's like ultimately we need to be in control of our future and our happiness and our health. Like, so. If you're not, bottom line, you need to be looking out for you. Because, a lot of people, they don't have anyone else who will. A lot of people don't have a good support system or a good family or a good, don't have a lot going that way. So ultimately, you need to look out for you. And I mean, if you're not fed and you're not doing well, how are you expect to help others and help the world? Like, exactly. You can't give out of an empty well, is an old idiom.
Yeah. Man. I was meaning, going back to the sex table thing, my favorite, I don't think you believe it then, but my favorite, is an analogy saying, it was the key in the lock. That one.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
It was just funny.
Dude, man, I know it wasn't like a standing ovation, but at the time, it felt like I got a standing ovation. Like,
I would have given you one. I know. Oh no, there was so much great stuff. But yeah, it made sense. It's a metaphor. I don't think you was saying this is how it is, but it's what people think.
Yeah. No, I read that somewhere.
Yeah, I found
did
it
not
other
come up with
places
that.
too. Afterwards,
Yeah, but it's kind of
still,
like slut shamey. But I'm
No, it's-
anti-slut shaming. I'm
Yeah,
pro
it's like-
sluts now as an adult. But
yeah, I think it was the anti-slut shaming thing that I
Yeah,
don't think people picked up on right away because we just said such stuff all the time.
yeah,
But-
that was truly just to be like a contrarian high school dick. Like I forget what we were talking about, but I just made the analogy like, well, if a key opens a lot of different locks, you would call that like a master key. But like, if a lock opened to a bunch of different keys, that's a broken ass lock, dude. Oh, but yeah. No.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't even remember.
I'm pro sluts now.
I don't even remember you coming off like that. I feel like and maybe it's just me wanting to make it sound better, but it's like you were saying this is how people think, not this is how it is.
Hopefully.
That's how I remember it. I never remembered you as a douche or being a jerk, which is what you make yourself sound like in high school. I don't remember that, but I just was always amused. So.
I mean, ultimately, I don't think I was ever hurting anyone with what I was saying.
No.
But I do still to this day like say some pretty outlandish things.
Oh,
I don't know if outlandish, but like I put like I don't know. I'm dancing on that line for sure of what's like socially acceptable to say. Like I'm not like saying slurs and shit, but I don't know.
Yeah.
One person told me that I say the things that they think but are too afraid to say. And like I don't know if that makes me sound like a pompous or whatever, but I don't know.
No, I don't. I say a lot of that shit, especially coming from Tennessee to Hawaii. It's such a big difference in culture and what's acceptable. I have to say,
yeah. What's the vibe out there? I've never been. Like,
it's a lot nicer than Tennessee. The people here are a lot nicer, and it is more chill, even though it's a big city. But people are generally better here, and I am not. I'm getting better, but it's just the group I hung out with, and like my whole family just coming up. I don't want to say we were ghetto, but we kind of had this mindset growing up as we did because of my family being probably the most diverse, multicultural family ever.
Like a real us versus them mentality.
Kind of, yeah, and just the way we talked and the things we said. It was a joke to us. It was a joke to our friend group, but then outside of that, people who don't know my background, it seems bad, a little racist, bigoted. But I don't do that stuff anymore because I know it's wrong. But that only stopped like a year ago because I made a really bad joke about it was. I'm trying to find a nice way to say this. Two of my housemates are Jewish and their mom is Jewish, and they were over here and we were playing what was the name of the game? Quiplash. And I made a Jew joke and it did not go over well. So I was like, this is going to be the stopping point for these awful jokes I tell because people here are actually good people and they don't like that stuff. And it almost stopped. And then
people here aren't blatantly racist and anti-Semitic, so I need to cut that out.
Yeah, I'm a terrible person, but I'm getting better and it's fine. But then I also have other friends that I still talk to from college who still make these kind of jokes because we still played Quiplash together for a while. And it was like, it's
Dude,
funny.
no, I mean, it's like, if you go game anywhere online, like if you're gaming on Xbox or PC, it's like literally, it's just like, oh, that's so gay. Like, oh, that guy's an R word. That, it's like there's like these people are still using those slurs like freely.
Yeah.
So,
and it's like the other thing is like trying to distinguish between it being jokes and what we actually believe. Because I know, at least with the people I hang out with, these are completely jokes because we have these same people in our friend group that we make fun of and we just do it. But then it's like, we know not to do it outside of our friend group. And it's like, is it still okay? It's like poking fun at yourself, where the group is poking fun of the group. But it's like, I don't know. It's a weird thing.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, context is really crucial, especially with comedy. You know, it's like if you're with a group of friends, you're intentionally being funny. You're not trying to say hate speech, like, with the intention of hurting a group. Like, you're just fucking around with your friends. Like, that's a lot different than, like, having a large platform and then spouting hate speech in a very serious way. And then when called out on it, you're like, no, I fucking mean that. I mean it how I said it. Like, you know, it's a lot different than being like, damn, that was a joke behind closed doors amongst my friends. Like, that's a totally different situation. Like,
yeah.
So, but, you know, we definitely, you know, we got to work on our behavior. Like, I mean, I'm a white man of some privilege, so I definitely have to be aware of what I've been given and what I can do to change my behavior to make it better for everyone else too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's the other thing for me. It's like, I'm a quarter Filipino, but compared to other Filipinos, I'm just white, and I'm like over a foot taller than most of them. And I guess living in Hawaii, I assume.
Yeah, from what I remember, you were tall in high school. How tall are you?
I'm 6'3".
Oh, damn, that's tall, bro. I'm 6. I'm 6 foot.
Yeah, well, that's pretty tall, too.
That's tall.
But compared to a lot of the people here,
cutoff
they're like 5'1". That seems to be the average. I'm like, I'm over a foot taller than you. And I hate group photos because most of my classes, most of the people I hang out with are like
it's
Filipino.
Like the photos like this.
Yeah. Or it's me like having to like squat down a little bit, bend over. And I look so awkward in them, and I stand out so much. But yeah, it's like, it's a weird mindset I've been in lately, because it's like, yeah, I'm mostly white. My mom's Filipino. I have a Filipino family. It's like, I guess I have some privilege now. I keep saying, I guess I have some privilege. That's the other thing. It's like, I have to watch what I say, because they're like, no, you're definitely privileged. I was like, well, you don't know how I grew up. I mean, I might be.
I don't know what it's like to be a quarter Filipino and grow up how you grow up. So I'm not gonna tell you that you're like gonna, you know.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely doing well now, so I can't deny that. But it's also because
when you're living in fucking Hawaii.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm pretty jelly.
Yeah, it's super expensive here. It's like, I like it here, but it's like, man, there's cheaper places I could go live after I finish this degree, and I might. But yeah, it's ridiculous. My portion of my rent for the house I'm in now is more expensive than my family's payment on their house that they're in now. And I was like, oh man, that's
and they're building equity.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's weird living in Hawaii. I've gotten used to how expensive things are, because, you know, minimum wage is better here, and I get money from school and whatnot. But yeah, so I'm doing fine, but whatever. But yeah, no, I have a weird family. I have a very diverse family. So I'm also the whitest one in my family. Not in my family.
You're the whitest passing, I guess is the term.
My siblings and I are the whitest ones in our family, because we have a whole Filipino side of our family. We have Mexican cousins. We have black cousins. Who I grew up with most was my black cousins. And then I've had a few aunts and uncles of different, like an Indian uncle at one point, a Vietnamese aunt. Then I just have other relatives all around the world. So growing up with that is weird. So when I make these jokes, I'm like, oh, it's justified. It's okay for me to tell, because I grew up like this. And it's just been more lately where I'm like, maybe not.
Well, I mean, if you question what you do and you regret things that you've said, then you're making a path to progress. So, you know, it's not all done in a day. It's like a constant struggle to be aware of how our actions make others feel. And ultimately, empathy is the goal.
Yeah. But yeah, and just questioning everything. Don't believe everything you hear. Question it. Look it up. Look more into
Think
everything.
for yourself and question.
Good or bad, whatever you think, even if you think it's right, because a lot of it is right. There is a clear line between what is right and wrong. Look it up anyways. Look more into it. Get more knowledgeable. Nothing should be taken at face value. I take nothing. If I see anything, I'm like, oh, that sounds weird. I wonder if it's true. I'll look it up. I watch a lot of. I was watching this anime about these animal people at high school. It was really dumb and weird, but they would give you like these weird animal facts. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I don't believe it though. Let me look it up. That's how everyone should be with anything they learn ever.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I mean, I don't know, to jump back to high school, Miller, like, had a, back to, like, me not being liked, I guess, but, like, Julie Miller, our teacher, like, really didn't like me in the beginning until she found out who my uncle was.
Oh, yeah.
And then she, like, started actually listening to what I had to say, and then she, like, would respect my arguments or whatever. And it's, like, I don't know, especially here, it's, like, it definitely matters, like, who your daddy is, like, where you come, who your kin is, like, or whatever, like. So, I don't know, it's funny, I don't know, you should ultimately listen to people, to what they have to say, but never take it on face value, you know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that was the other weird thing of me moving there, because there's a different family that we're not related to with the same last name, and, like, people assume we were related, so that gave us a little more leeway with fitting in. But it's also, my mom is definitely very Filipino looking. I don't know why she still does it. It's a very Filipino thing to do, but she tries to fit in so much with the other, like, very white Southern Belle wannabe moms. And I get onto her a lot. I was like, don't try to be like them, But she's also, no, she didn't really take to her Filipino roots anyways. So,
I mean, I'm going to speak on purely observation. I cannot generalize this in any way, but I grew up in Central Florida, very ethnically diverse area. All my best friends, like, Nicaraguan, Ecuadorian, Venezuelan, like, all. But anyway, I would notice, like, most of my friends, they were first generation American, and their parents were immigrants, and they really, really leaned into being American. Yeah. Like, they really wanted to do the thing, like, take their kids to soccer practice, like, play tennis, fucking, do the thing that they perceived as, like, being very American. And so, I don't know if that's like a common immigrant thing. It's like, but I don't know. I noticed that in my interactions with my friends and their parents, their parents.
Yeah, that's definitely stuff I've seen a lot. My mom, she was born here though. She was born in Virginia too, and she was raised. So I don't know why she still wants to be so white. She's gone back and forth with, like, she likes to cook a few Filipino foods. Besides that, she's not really connected much with Filipino stuff. And then the rest of our family lives in, like, San Diego or the Philippines, so it's not like we see them a lot either. But yeah, it's weird. I don't know, race stuff.
Well, that's cool that you're, like, studying your culture's music for school. So you're sticking to your heritage.
Yeah, but that's another weird thing too. It's like I try, and like I know I keep getting told a quarter Filipino is enough to be Filipino. People accept you as Filipino. But when I went to the Philippines, man, I stuck out so much because I was taller and wider than everyone. And then they treated me like a celebrity, which Filipinos are known for being nice and whatever. But, man, they treated me a lot better than I think they would others. And, like, people will just come up and want to touch my skin, and they'll just be like, oh, and they'll be like, your skin's so pretty. I'm like, I'm not
that's
even
weird.
that white. Yeah, it was weird.
That's
I
weird.
was like, am I really Filipino? I wasn't raised Filipino. And then it's like, obviously I don't look Filipino to any of these. And when I would tell them, they'd be like, oh, okay, yeah. And when I would tell them, like, I speak a little Ilocano, every time I would use it, they'd be surprised every single time. Even when with the same people who already knew.
Why is this white guy talking like us?
Yeah, exactly. No, that happened. Because they're talk about, like, if I'll say Filipino fruits or animals in Ilocano, they'd be like, oh, you know that word? And I was like, yeah, we already talked about how I know some Ilocano. And be like, I didn't know you would know that. And I was like, oh, I don't know how to respond to this. It's like, yeah, so it's like, I don't know if I'm actually viewed as Filipino. The Filipinos in Hawaii tell me I'm Filipino, but going to the Philippines, I feel nothing like that. But it's still a great place. It's still really enjoyable. And it's egotistical, but the celebrity-ish treatment was nice. So, but yeah.
But it would be weird. I don't know. I've never experienced that, and I don't think I ever will, but that sounds weird. Sounds like off-putting.
It was a little bit. I got used to it. And it was nice because a lot of kids would come up to me and just talk or want to meet me and talk to me, and that was cool. But it was just like, it's a shame too. It's like that there's this idea of whiteness being better in a place where I was like, no, I wish I was darker. I wish my skin was more like yours. And be like, no. I was like, it's weird. It's a little sad that this idea of whiteness is so widespread, and it's really just fucking ridiculous. But
yeah, it is so ridiculous. It's just like my genes come from an area where they were far away from the equator, and your genes come from an area that was closer to the equator, so you have more melanin in your skin tone than I do.
Also,
and that's it. That's the only difference. Like,
I'm just pointing
that's caused
out
wars.
White people also, compared to the rest of the world, we're a very small group of people. You know, Europe and like just the North. And like they did things to spread out and seem like the majority of the world, even though they're still not the majority.
Oh, you mean colonize and imperialize several nations?
I was going to say rape and pillage their way to dominance, but yeah, same thing.
Yeah. Burning the earth as they walk.
But yeah, and it's like, I can't even go back and think, like, how do people explain this now? It's like, oh yeah, no, white people came from this small area, and now we're everywhere, trying to control everything. And it's, oh man, especially now because I study a lot of like political violence and all that kind of stuff in my grad. I really don't do that much music anymore. I study a lot of that stuff, so now all this stuff makes me think more. I'm like, man, white people kind of fucked a lot of shit up in the world. Even more than people realize.
When I drive around sometimes, I just think about like what this area would look like if just the first Native Americans just like came up on the white man and just shot him right in the face. And just be like, what would this area look like? You know, how much more beautiful could it be? Like, I don't know. Yeah, white people be fucking shit up for everybody. It's a bummer. My white guilt is all-time high right now. And then you live in an area that's so white, and then everyone's so damn proud to be white, and then it's just like, fuck, like, why don't y'all feel shame like I feel shame?
Oh, that's the other thing. It's like, I don't make racist jokes about anyone except for white people. I make a lot of racist white jokes. And then, like,
you should.
Of course, I look white, so then it confuses new people I meet, because I don't hold back on white people jokes. And then, like, my other friends have to explain it to these people. And it's like, oh, these are kind of jokes, but we're pretty sure he completely believes them. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, pretty much. It's like, I'm educated. I know. I study history and shit. I know what's up. But, yeah, it's weird. It's, yeah. Educating yourself about world matters is very good for you and the world, so I recommend you do it. Get out of your
If you don't study
town.
history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Yes. And it makes no sense why you would want to repeat it. Well, I guess white people have no reason they would not. They have nothing to lose. It's only the game. But, man.
Yeah, we used to have all the power. Now we only have the most of the power. Do you know how that feels?
People are ridiculous. But, man, I guess this would probably be our last topic. But I did want to go back one more to high school because I just remembered it. Do you remember the videos we used to shoot for classes?
Do I? The Great Gatsby film. I mean, that was a cinema classic of our lifetime. I feel
that was especially one I was thinking of because it was like
Were you in on that? Were you part of our group?
Oh yeah, I was the kind of the main star part of that.
Okay, all right. Sorry, because I was doing some light drinking that day. Some high school drinking.
We all were. It was great. Yeah. I played. Oh, I don't remember the name. I played Gatsby at the end when I get shot, and that was we were doing a contemporary or like a ghetto version of Gatsby, I think, which is what made me remember it. But yeah, at the end,
we were not Gatsby. Talking with black accents though.
We were not.
It was a modern interpretation, but we were not like being like we weren't in blackface or anything like
we were
like honky. No.
But if this spoils a Great Gatsby for you, I don't know what to tell you. It's an old book and movie. Yeah. You should have seen it by now. Anyways, so the scene at the end is where he gets shot in the swimming pool. We used a storage container.
Yes.
And filled that up because we couldn't use the pool. And then
it was like November or something.
Yeah, I don't think it was clean. I was like, I don't care. I'll do it. Still, we couldn't. And so I was just sitting on the edge of it. Just
my mom would let us drink underage, but would not let us.
Did she know
dive in that? I mean, she looked the other way with intent.
I mean, she was never around whenever we would. She would always.
Yeah, she was just like, oh yeah, y'all are like the scene is in a bar, so here's filled liquor bottles. I'm gonna be in my room with the door shut. Was intentionally looking away.
Oh yeah, I guess so. I guess I was busy drinking. But yeah, so we did that scene where I get shot, and I couldn't hear anyone coming up to me, but then someone comes up and shoots me point blank with an airsoft gun. I smacked the back of my neck, filled with ketchup, because I didn't expect it, and that was my reaction. And then the storage container just crumbled and broke and fell away. And then I ended up cutting, like, my ass or something. I don't remember exactly how that happened. Because I think I was borrowing like your swimming trunks or something for the scene, and it was like there's blood, and I was like, I don't know how this happened. It's not my time of the month, so I don't know what's going on. That was the other scene we did was when I don't remember the other characters' names when they were getting the dogs.
Yeah, it was fuck. And I just reread Great Gatsby like a month ago, and I can't remember. But yeah, it was like the rich womanizer guy. Played by CJ.
Yeah.
He was buying his side piece, a dog.
No, CJ was... Wait. I thought CJ was the one selling the dogs. Who was selling the dogs?
Yeah. No, he said they're... No, because...
Wasn't you the... Wait.
I was Nick. I was Nick, because I was the one, like, telling the story. I was the narrator.
Okay. Yeah, I was the woman who was getting the dog, because we used fruit so I could have weird lumpy boobs. So I got to play two characters in our little story. But yeah, and we would we did this a lot with a lot of our projects, but we called them bitches instead of dogs.
Because in the Great Gatsby they used the term bitch once. And so we took insane liberty with that.
Oh man, it was funny. It was so fun. It was always fun doing these videos, but I never got to see any of them. I don't know what happened. Why I never got to see them, but I heard the whole bitch part didn't go over that well. But also, we never got in trouble for anything. So
no, I remember getting an A for that project.
Yeah, we did well, and it was well done. So where are you going?
The class loved it.
Yeah, I wish there was still a copy out there I could watch. It was great.
Dude, I'll hit up some of the homies and see if they have a copy. I want one to live on.
Yeah, it would. But I think like the file got corrupted or something whenever we try to get it. And I think that's why I never got to see it or get a copy of it. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. The other video we shot, I don't remember. It was for a math class. I don't remember which one. It was the Nikola Tesla.
Yes.
And Thomas Edison stealing his spotlight. And that's the one we shot at the bar. And I just played the drunkard.
Okay.
I was just sitting there drinking. Pretending to drink, but, actually drinking.
We were drinking.
Just being a dumbass in the background. while everyone else actually did the actual work. That was a fun. I don't remember which class it was. I want to say like pre-calculus, but whatever it would be. Oh,
Those were good times, man.
It was. Man, going, chilling at your place and making those dumb videos. Even the days, there was a few days we went to make the videos and just ended up, I don't know, like, watching Dragon Ball. See, I think we did once. Man, good time.
Dude, yeah, like, just eat snacks.
Yeah.
And hang out.
That was the time I discovered I did not like hummus.
Dude, yeah.
What's up?
Man, and I won't say his name, but one of those times I smoked out our homie for the first time.
Man,
And our other homie Zach was just like, "That's tobacco, right?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, don't even worry about that. It's just tobacco. Yeah. He's just smoking tobacco." And then he just like, and then the homie who did smoke like ended up like just destroying a bag of Doritos, like sitting on the couch.
Yeah,
it's good times.
I completely forgot about the other time when I just got wrecked at your place. And I still don't even remember. I just know there was a lot of smoking and vodka, and I was a fucking mess.
Oh yeah, that was my 18th birthday party.
Is that what that was? I don't remember.
Or it was like a 420 celebration or something.
It was probably something like that.
Yeah.
Man, that was... I knew I was already feeling sick a little bit at that day, but I was like, fuck it, I'll power through it because I wanted to go hang out. But then it's like, yeah, I turned into a mess. I remember talking and meeting a lot of new people. I do not remember any of those people. I think at one point I agreed to be in someone's band, which never happened. But then, and like this has happened multiple times in my life, but this was the first time it happened. And it's like afterwards, people would come up to me talking about that night, and I would have no idea what they were talking about or who they were. I was like, man, I don't fuck. But yeah, it was also a cool time because where you was living, I had no signal, and I didn't really tell my mom what was up, so I just disappeared for like a whole day.
Dude, that's actually the house I'm living in right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, cool. My stepdad rented it out to me. So it's really close to where I work.
Oh yeah, I guess it would be. Oh man, good times. A lot of just stuff I either will always remember or stuff I never got the chance to remember.
Never will remember.
But that's happened multiple times in my life at this point.
I don't know, especially back then, I was like trying to have fun and be a kid, and like everyone was like taking life so seriously, and like, oh, I'm gonna get into this school, or I'm gonna get married, or like blah blah blah. Like I was like, man, I'm just trying to like party and play video games. Like we're kids, like
let kids be kids. Dang.
Yeah. I don't recommend the amount of drug use though. Like maybe maybe wait till 18.
Be responsible, but still have fun, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I condone mistakes for sure.
Oh yeah, mistakes. You gotta learn from something, and mistakes are a great thing to learn from. Just, try not to make them too many times.
Yeah.
Making the same mistakes is when it becomes your bad.
Yeah.
And when it becomes not a mistake anymore, really.
Yeah, don't turn a mistake into a habit.
Yeah. That's a good one. But man, yeah, so, let's see. 8 years it's been. Hopefully we'll stay more in touch. Man, I'm pretty shit, though. Literally, whenever I see someone message me, if I don't respond to them right then, I will forget about it forever. So, that's why I'm glad I'm doing this podcast stuff. But, thank you for agreeing to be on this podcast. And reaching out to me again and reminding me of all the great times we've had. Man, but yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do my little outro real quick. So this is going to be the end of the podcast. If you like what you saw, go ahead and like it. If you want to see more, listen to more to the audio or whatnot, go ahead and subscribe on whatever platform you're on. I'm on many audio podcast platforms. So if you're listening to this, you're probably on one of them. Or you can just watch on my YouTube. I do it there too. That seems to be where most of my traffic goes anyways. But thank you once again to Carter Muncy for joining me, my longtime high school friend who I have not talked to in a long time. We're going to change that. But I'm the AC.
My name's Carter. Check out every Thursday Jammin at hippiejacks.com for a live stream. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MuncySir, MuncySir. So those are my plugs. Love y'all. Thanks for having me, AC. I hope this was a good story.
Oh, it was great. I enjoyed it. But, of course, checking out my stuff. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and look for all that stuff. Most of it is just the AC stories. But until next time, thank you for watching, and bye.
Bye.